Hello, I'm here with Lily. It's your friend Karen, and we are beyond the courtyard because we're having a lot of thunderstorms today, so we're filming this inside. So I'm excited to share our first video of a friend's garden. It's going to be short, hopefully sweet. I'm learning a lot, but if I wait until everything is completely perfect, I'll never get anything posted for you. So Jim did his best with the what I gave him to edit, and it is a learning curve. And this is kind of a yin-yang episode because the person's garden that I visited is my friend Debbie, our friend Debbie. And Debbie has been gardening for almost 50 years. She has a beautiful garden. It's filled with flowers and vegetables and different plants that mean a lot to her, that remind her of her children or her husband, and it's very sweet. Anyway, so that's the one side of the coin, and the other side is that I'm brand new at doing this video recording, so bear with me because each video that I record I catch on a little bit more techniques and I'm figuring things out, and it's a lot of fun, and I want it to be something splendid for you. What will be splendid, I assure you, is that the garden is gorgeous, no matter what I do, no matter how I film it. But it is what it is, that's all I can say. Anyway, it's a short video, and I hope you enjoy visiting Debbie's garden, and wishing you all well, and enjoy the summer, and we'll be posting more videos soon. So love you all and wish you all the best. Bye-bye.
This is one of my favorite spots in the garden because one of my favorite colors is purple. And this is a favorite hydrangea because Robert gave it to me for Mother's Day about 5 years ago. And I put it in this pot and it loves it. And it's happy there. So now you want to go out to the garden? Yeah, I like the approach to the garden too. The old gate. David built this deer-proof garden fence soon after we moved out here in 1975. He probably built the deer fence in maybe 1985 or 90. But we started with these 2 beds in the front. That was it. 2 beds. These 2 beds, nothing else. Aww. David collected these daylily bulbs from when he went to craft shows in North Carolina. And he would collect bulbs every year, and people gave us these blackberry lily bulbs, which I had never grown and loved. Look at this. And they're not native. So I'm trying to mix in as many natives as I can with the daylilies because I've learned so much about it. And have basically a pollinator garden, which is what I've tried to do with the bee balm and the echinacea and the Joe Pye weed. It's starting to bud up. And the phlox. I'm relying on my trees for the native. And this is my herb garden. It's semi-successful this year. That's oregano, different basils, tomato plants behind it, cilantro that I'm gonna let go to seed, nigella, that's the seed pods, which are very cool to put in arrangements. It's not a native. It's called Love in the Mist. My daughter loves it, Sarah. She gave me seeds for it, so of course I had to grow it, even though it was a non-native, because she was waiting to see them. And they were kind of white flowers, and they're called Love in the Mist because this pretty green kind of grows all around the flower. And then you get these fabulous seed pods, and because she's such a great flower arranger, she takes them and puts the beautiful seed pods in her arrangements. That's why I had to grow it. And lots of basil. Yeah, this is definitely daylily season. They bloom like 2 weeks. Summer scented, which is really nice. Echinops. I forget what the regular name is, and it's also not a native, but again, just so they turn blue, and just such a, and they're spiny, so they hurt if you play with them, but they're just a great structure. I love them. But I don't grow too many. I'm trying to grow natives in with everything. So I have a Rebecca coming up even inside the daylily bed this year for the first time. So that when the daylilies are all done, instead of an empty bed, I'm going to have, they're like black-eyed Susans. A really wild black-eyed Susan. So they'll start blooming after the daylilies are done. I love the blues. Liatris is a really good pollinator. And so is the Agastaki. And then I also have the Russian sage back there and catnip. And I've tried so many different things in this garden. It's all peonies in the spring, but now it's blue. This was going to be my cutting garden, so I was supposed to have rows of flowers. Didn't quite, I mean, there are rows. I grew almost all of these from seeds. They're almost all, except the milkweed, they're all annuals and good for pollinators. So this is an annual coreopsis that I just loved. Saw the picture and I got, okay, I need that. And then I grew a different type of marigold from seed. And they're just starting to bloom too. So when the daylilies are done, I should have a few other things. And I grew like 5 different types of zinnias. But I just didn't get as much sun as I used to because we let too many big trees grow up. See? In fact, the sun is behind that huge red pine. So even though it's whatever it is, like 10:30 in the morning, we still don't have sun yet, which limits the amount of flowers to get out. So there's a lot of things that like shade, or it can take a mix of sun and shade. And then I have sweet peas for the first time ever. I grew sweet peas from seed, again, because my wonderful daughter, Sarah, gave me a bunch of seeds around for Christmas, for the holidays. And she said, oh, you'll love sweet peas. And I went, okay, I'll try them. I think it was March 1st. February I started the seeds. They didn't get big enough to plant till about May. They're supposed to like cool weather, and it's been above 95, for days. But here are several sweet peas that I finally got, which I thought was pretty funny. They're supposed to bloom in April or May, and they finally came up this fence. I planted these outside in April, and they're blooming in July, and that's a volunteer sunflower they're with. Eggplant that always got eaten by the flea beetles. So this year I put it in a container and covered it with the row cover till it was 2 feet tall. And then it seems to be hopefully big enough to withstand the flea beetles. And stargazer lilies that are gorgeous, that are David's favorite, and I bought him 2 plants for Father's Day. And I just picked I just cut some of them and put them in the house on the kitchen table. So you can enjoy them. They smell so good. So this is mostly, it's a mix. This used to be all vegetables, but I'm doing a lot more flowers than veggies these days. The tithonia, I grew a dozen from seed and put them kind of as the backdrop for the tomato bed. So the plants would be pollinated, and it would look prettier than just a veggie garden. And then wherever I have a spot, I'd put something left over.